Have you ever felt the universe conspire to place you exactly where you needed to be at the precise moment it mattered most? It's a feeling that transcends coincidence, hinting at a grander design, a subtle whisper that perhaps, just perhaps, there's a purpose for every encounter, every challenge, and every unexpected turn. Tonight, we're going to unravel a story that embodies this very notion, a tale of a young woman navigating the everyday hustle, whose deeply held, almost secret passion for music was about to collide with a world she never imagined. This is a journey that began with a simple delivery and culminated in a moment of profound revelation, proving unequivocally that true talent knows no boundaries, no social strata, and certainly no uniform. It's a powerful testament to the unseen potential residing within each of us, waiting for its moment to resonate. So, leaning close, because you won't want to miss a single note of this incredible transformation. Picture this, a glittering mansion, bathed in the soft glow of 1,000 crystal chandeliers, somewhere in the heart of Los Angeles. The air is thick with ambition, the delicate scent of expensive perfume mingling with a murmur of high society chatter. Tonight, the creme de la creme of the entertainment industry has gathered, their polished shoes gliding across marble floors, their laughter echoing softly through the opulent halls. This isn't just any party. It's a carefully curated event hosted by Andrew Sterling, a name synonymous with innovation and influence in the global music and film scene. Imagine a world where success is measured by the shine of your shoes and the heft of your wallet. Now imagine a challenge so grand it could rewrite destinies. Andrew Sterling, a titan known for his discerning taste and often ruthless shrewdness, stood by his prized possession, a gleaming, ebony grand piano, a custom-built masterpiece valued at a staggering $500,000. Tonight, Andrew wasn't just hosting a party. He was conducting an audition, a whimsical yet deadly serious quest for the sublime. My friends, his voice boomed, cutting through the sophisticated din. Tonight, I propose a challenge. A simple challenge, yet one that has, so far, eluded even the most celebrated among us. A hush fell over the room. Andrew gestured towards the piano. Anyone, and I mean anyone, who can play a piece on this magnificent instrument, a piece that truly touches my heart, will be awarded $1 million of my personal fortune. A collective gasp rippled through the guests, quickly followed by whispers of excitement and a competitive glint in many eyes. $1 million, a sum that could launch careers, fund dreams, or simply ensure a lifetime of comfort. The challenge began. A parade of accomplished musicians, renowned pianists, and even a few celebrity composers stepped forward. First, Dr. Eleanor Vance, a concert pianist with degrees from prestigious conservatories. Her rendition of Chopin was technically flawless, each note precise, each arpeggio shimmering. Andrew listened intently, his chin resting on his hand, but when she finished, he simply offered a polite, almost imperceptible nod. "Thank you, Dr. Vance. Beautifully executed. No spark, no connection." Next, Marco Delgado, a jazz virtuoso known for his improvisational genius. His fingers danced across the keys, creating intricate, soulful melodies that swung and swayed. The room swayed with him, appreciative. But Andrew, though tapping his foot to the rhythm, remained unmoved in his core. Marco, splendid as always. Truly. Still, the $1 million prize remained unclaimed. One after another, they tried. Classical, jazz, contemporary, even avant-garde. Each performance was met with polite applause, but Andrew's gaze, though appreciative of the skill, held a subtle, growing disappointment. He wasn't looking for perfection. He was searching for resonance, for something that spoke directly to his soul, something that transcended mere notes and scales. The frustration was palpable, not just in Andrew, but in the air itself. Was it truly an impossible task? Was his heart simply too hardened by years of professional critique to be genuinely touched? The grand piano, for all its magnificence, seemed to mock their collective inability to unlock its deeper magic. Are we perhaps looking for brilliance in all the wrong places? The night wore on, hopes dimming, until a faint hum, an unexpected arrival, signaled a shift in the air. Sometimes the most profound answers arrive in the most unassuming packages. Just as the grand challenge seemed destined to fizzle out, the opulent double doors to the drawing room swung open slightly, revealing a figure that was, to put it mildly, out of place. It was Lena, a 25-year-old Uber Eats delivery driver. Her bright yellow polo shirt, a beacon against the sea of black tuxedos and shimmering gowns, was emblazoned with the familiar Uber Eats logo. A matching yellow insulated bag hung casually from her shoulder. She looked around, a little bewildered, clearly having taken a wrong turn on her way to deliver a late-night gourmet meal to one of the guests. Whispers immediately broke out. An Uber Eats driver? Here? At this party? A few subtle snickers rippled through the crowd, eyes quickly scanning her modest attire, a stark contrast to the designer labels and bespoke suits. Lena, momentarily flustered, clutched her delivery bag, ready to apologize and retreat when her eyes landed on the grand piano. It wasn't just any piano. It was a beast of an instrument, gleaming under the chandeliers, radiating a silent call that only a true musician could hear. Lena wasn't just a delivery driver. She was a natural-born musician. Since she was a little girl, growing up in a modest home in South Central LA, music had been her refuge, her language, her deepest passion. She had a knack for it, a gift for hearing melodies and translating emotions into intricate harmonies, even without formal training. Life, however, had led her down a different path, one of long shifts and endless deliveries, just to make ends meet and help support her family. The piano, for her, was a cherished memory, a faded dream, only touched on rare, quiet nights at a public community center. She watched as another renowned musician finished, his performance met with Andrew's familiar, polite, but ultimately unenthusiastic applause. A wave of something akin to sadness washed over Lena. She knew the music, she felt it differently. Then, a strange courage, born of a lifetime of suppressed passion and perhaps a touch of fatigue from her long day, bubbled up. Hesitantly, she took a step forward. "Excuse me." Her voice was quiet, almost lost in the room, but it somehow cut through the murmurs. Could I have a turn?" Silence. Then, a few more snickers, louder this time. A guest, a famous music producer with a monocle, scoffed, "Darling, I think you have the wrong address. This is an open mic night." Andrew Sterling himself raised an eyebrow, a flicker of annoyance crossing his face. But something in Lena's earnest, hopeful gaze, or perhaps the sheer audacity of her request, made him pause. He looked at the $500,000 piano, then at her humble uniform. "You want to play?" he asked, his voice laced with disbelief. Lena nodded, her resolve hardening. "Yes, sir. Just one piece. Please." Could this be the moment a hidden star finally shines? True music isn't about notes. It's about the soul. Andrew, more out of curiosity than expectation, waved a hand, granting her permission. The room watched, a collective mix of amusement and quiet judgment. Lena walked slowly towards the piano, her yellow uniform a stark, almost defiant contrast to the elegant black and white surrounding her. She carefully set her delivery bag down beside the bench, took a deep breath, and sat down. For a moment, she closed her eyes, letting her fingers hover over the polished ivory and ebony keys, connecting with the instrument. It felt different from the worn-out upright at the community center, but the language was the same. Then, she began to play. It wasn't a showy classical piece, nor was it a complex jazz standard. What flowed from her fingertips was an original composition, a melody that started soft, almost hesitant, like a quiet dawn. It was a blues-infused improvisation, raw and deeply personal, yet universally relatable. The initial murmurs in the room died down, replaced by an astonished silence. Her hands, calloused from years of gripping handlebars and carrying bags, moved with an effortless grace, a fluid dance of technique and emotion that defied her unassuming appearance. The music swelled, weaving a narrative of struggle, resilience, and an unwavering hope. Each chord was imbued with feeling, each improvised run a testament to years of self-taught mastery and innate talent. You could hear the hustle of city life, the quiet solitude of her nights, the dreams she nurtured under the vast LA sky. It wasn't just music, it was a story told through the keys of a piano. Scientifically, music has a unique ability to bypass our logical filters and tap directly into our limbic system, the seat of our emotions. Lena's music wasn't just hitting notes, it was hitting hearts. CEO Andrew Sterling, who had maintained a facade of detached observation throughout the night, underwent a remarkable transformation. His initial raised eyebrow softened, then his eyes widened slightly. A subtle nod of his head turned into a slow, almost imperceptible sway. The critical lines around his mouth eased, and then, impossibly, a single tear traced a path down his cheek. It wasn't a performance. It was a communion. He saw not an Uber Eats driver, but a raw, unadulterated talent, a spirit pouring itself into every note. Other guests, who had started with smirks, now stood transfixed, some with hands covering their mouths, others with glassy eyes, utterly captivated. The music filled every corner of the vast room, washing over them, cleansing their preconceived notions, leaving only awe in its wake. The $500,000 piano, finally, sounded like it was worth every penny, not because of its price tag, but because of the soul that was breathing life into it. Witness the power of a single melody to change everything. When the final note faded, leaving a hush in its wake, the silence was more profound than any applause, signifying a moment that would forever change Lena's life and spark a ripple effect of generosity. When the last lingering note of Lena's melody dissolved into the hushed air, the silence that followed was deafening, yet profoundly eloquent. It spoke of awe, of wonder, and of an undeniable truth that had just unfolded before their very eyes. Andrew Sterling, his eyes still glistening, slowly rose from his seat. He didn't speak immediately. Instead, he walked over to Lena, a man utterly transformed by a symphony of raw, unfiltered emotion. He extended his hand, not as a CEO to an employee, but as one soul acknowledging another. Lena, he said, his voice thick with emotion, that was the most beautiful music I have ever heard. You, my dear, have truly touched my heart. A collective sigh of relief, then an eruption of applause, thunderous and heartfelt, filled the room. The guests, who had moments ago judged her by her uniform, now showered her with genuine admiration. Andrew then turned to the crowd, his voice firm. The $1 million, as promised, goes to Lena. He presented her with a ceremonial check, the figure $1 million gleaming under the lights. Lena, tears welling in her eyes, held the check. This was it, a lifeline, the end of long, exhausting shifts, the beginning of a new chapter for her and her family. She could finally pursue her musical dreams, record her own albums, share her gift with the world. But as she looked out at the faces in the crowd, a different thought took hold, a thought that transcended personal ambition. She cleared her throat, her voice still a little shaky but clear. Mr. Sterling, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This is more than I could ever have dreamed of. She paused, then took a deep breath. But there are so many children in the world, especially in places like Africa, who have dreams but no means to pursue them. No access to education, to basic necessities, let alone a piano. She looked at the check, then back at Andrew, a serene smile gracing her lips. I would be honored if you would allow me to donate this entire $1 million to a foundation that helps impoverished children in Africa. The room erupted once more, this time with a different kind of applause, one born of profound respect and admiration. Andrew Sterling looked at her, his initial surprise quickly giving way to a look of immense pride. Lena, he said, you are not just a musician. You are an inspiration. This is truly extraordinary. Lena's story reminds us that kindness, talent, and generosity can emerge from the most unexpected places. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to celebrate the potential in everyone, and to remember the profound impact a single selfless act can have on the world. What would you do with $1 million if it meant truly changing lives?